Hello everybody. I'm going to do a little bit of diamond painting. So it's Saturday afternoon. No snow yet. I have to tell you, there's been, let me see what number I'm doing here. There has been many times where they told us we were going to get totally buried, 3609, and we haven't. So, who knows? We could get 2 feet, we could get a dusting, we could get 3 inches, I mean, who knows? Many, many times we've been prepared and we get nothing. We'll have to wait and see. Okay, doing a nice light pink color here, which is the P3609. Okay. So, I did go out and get just a few more things, just in case it does snow a lot. I don't want to be stuck here without chocolate. So I went out and got some chocolate, got some ice cream, got some chicken. I mean, I don't imagine we'll lose power. It's not supposed to be big, huge blizzard. A couple of feet's nothing to panic about. It's just, I know my daughter and son will still go to work. They don't mind driving in the snow. No big deal. And the plows come out and they'll get the roads cleared up. The plows are really good. My dad lived in a small town and he was a volunteer fireman, but he also, his main job was he worked for the DPW. And he did plowing and tarring and all that stuff. So he took me out a few times with him back in the 70s, plowing the roads, and boy, was that fun. Loved being in that big old truck and just watching the snow come at us. It was so nice. We had a lot of fun. And then, of course, I got to climb on the fire engines and stuff because my daddy was a fireman. A lot of fond memories. So we'll see what we get. But I did live in New Hampshire for about 9 years when I was in my late 30s. And they had such a good system up there. I mean, they had these big tractors that would come, and they had dump trucks and tractors, and they would fill up the back of the dump trucks really fast, like this backhoe looking thing. And then once the dump truck was full, and it didn't take long, he'd go up and around the corner and they'd go dump it wherever they dumped it. I know you can't dump snow into water, in lakes or anything like that. That's not legal. So I don't know where they dumped it, but then they kept coming right around like it. I mean, it was a well-oiled machine system they had going on. Just, it went really fast, and we used to get really buried up in Jaffrey, New Hampshire. They had their system down, that's for sure. What am I doing? Okay, now, see, I'm using my light pad here. Seems to be working pretty good. Like it. It's got the, let me show you. That's off, on, and I hold my finger on it, and it gets even brighter. I like it. It's plugged into my laptop, so I just have it plugged in. I'm not relying on the laptop battery because that battery Does not work good at all. So I finally found my adapter plug. So I'm good now. It's all good. My neighbor, the wonderful tiny itty bitty little lady who cooks for me and brings me grocery shopping, she brought me today. She's just wonderful. And she is also the one who shovels all the snow. This woman has energy that I've never seen. She's just so full of energy. She mows the lawn. She plants beautiful flowers all along the side in the backyard. Rakes all the leaves in the fall. She just keeps the place looking nice and running smooth. She's a really nice lady. And she has 2 ferrets. One white one and one that looks like a little raccoon. In the little raccoon one, I actually ended up giving to her because I got him because he was the cutest thing I ever did see. But I could not keep up with the amount of poop. Oh my goodness, ferrets do nothing but eat and poop. They have a very short digestive tract, so they just poop so much. And he's the cutest, smartest little thing. And I don't regret giving him to her because she is such a good ferret mom. And she has her 2 down there. And she lets them run around like they're cats. And I tell you, she's got them paper trained. She has paper. Ferrets always go to the bathroom in a corner. That's where they feel more safe and secure in the wild. So that's just how they are. They back up into a corner, lift up their little tail, and they go. And it's just so cute. But anyway, so she put paper in the corners of her house, and they go in the corners right on the paper. And she cleans everything up. I mean, her house, she has 2 ferrets that run loose, and her house is spotlessly clean. She is something else. And so she's got them trained, and her house is clean, and they only go in their cage at night, or if she's gone shopping for a long time, because they can be mischievous. And if he gets, not the female so much, but him, he will take all the movies out of the bookcase and scatter them all over the place. And if you don't pay enough attention to him, you know, it's like having a little 2-year-old. He's just so precious. And he has a shoe and a sock fetish. He takes all the shoes and socks and puts them in the closet. They're strong. They really are. They're strong animals and smart and cute. And like I said, I mean, they're not for everybody because you really have to keep up with them and keep them clean because they go to the bathroom a lot. And what she does, she's really good. I'll give you a tour someday because she has a what was I doing? Peas? I think I'm done. She has a setup where the cage, where am I? The cage has 2 cute hammocks in it. The first floor of the cage, it's a double critter nation. And the first floor has their papers and their food and water and stuff. And then she has hammocks, and they put themselves to bed at night in their little hammocks. It's the cutest thing. So I'll have to give you a tour next time I go down to her house. I should have taken a video of her Christmas tree. Oh, it's beautiful. She had all crystal ballerinas on it. It was so pretty. I'm just trying to get, oh, what a mess. I just made a mess. Just trying to get these back into their little container here. Now, my friend Susan told me to put, since I don't have my containers yet, we can use empty pill bottles for these, and that's a good idea because I always have empty pill bottles, prescriptions ones, so that would be perfect size, I think. Keep them organized until I can get those. I should be getting them this week from Amazon, so I'll show you when I get them. Okay, now what colors shall we do? Of course, it's cat hair. Cat hair and everything. Okay, why don't we do 5? 5 is $9.63. And it looks like it's a light pink. $9.63. There we go. We'll do that. Just going to cut this off. And then I have little tiny paper clips. I'm just going to cinch the top of the bag with the little paper clips. Amazon said they should be here within, I think, 2 days. So then I'll have that video for you too. Okay, now 5s are right here. And here. Okay, nice light pink color. So did anybody else like going sledding or skiing or skating or anything like that in the summer? We used to go tobogganing with my dad. We had the big wood toboggan, and it curled up in the front, and I was the littlest one, so I got to sit up in the front. And boy, the sleds we had back in the day, you better keep your fingers up and out with those metal, what are they? The metal things on the bottom of the sled. Take your fingers right off. So we'd take the big, heavy wooden toboggan, and my dad would drag it all the way to the top, and we'd all get in and go down the bottom all together. So much fun. Sure, it wasn't very fun for my dad to lug that heavy wooden toboggan back up, but we went in Ashburnham. There was a big hill. I don't know if it was attached to the property of Cushing Academy or not. Cushing Academy is a private school, and all my relatives, well, my Gram and Gramp worked there. My grandpa did the yard work, mowing the lawn and everything. My grandmother worked in the kitchen. My mom was an operator, the old switchboard operators they had. And I think my dad might have worked there, I'm not sure. So, I mean, I didn't know it until I was older, but that's an actually very prestigious school. Kids from all over the world go there. And there's a story my first cousin, told me that, I think, wait a minute now, was it Betty White? No, Betty Davis. Betty Davis. One of her kids or relatives was there, and she went to visit. And my mom and my aunt were little. My mother was probably 2. And Betty Davis actually held my mother and my aunt when she went there to visit, because my gran was in the kitchen and she must have had the kids with her. So that's pretty cool. Betty Davis. So that's kind of a neat family story. My grandparents, boy, there was something. My grandpa, he never talked about the war. He was in World War II, and he never talked about it. But my dad told me a story about my grandpa. He said he was a real hero. He got a Purple Heart. He was shot twice in the shoulder, and he marched some German soldiers. He captured them like prisoner of war or whatever they are. He marched those German soldiers back to his camp with an empty gun. Now, of course, the Germans didn't know that the gun was empty. But my grandpa must have been pretty nervous and pretty brave, because he marched them all right back to his camp, and he didn't have any bullets in his gun. And I do have a signed letter. It's from Ronald Reagan, President Reagan, to my grandpa. And years ago, I had the bullet. They took the bullet out of his shoulder, probably in my whole chest somewhere. But, yeah, my grandpa was a real war hero. And I also have an original telegram. It's a yellow piece of paper, and it's to my grandmother, and it says, "We're sorry to inform you, your husband is missing in action." And thank God my grandpa was okay, but imagine my grandmother, where am I here, getting that, not even knowing what it was going to say, you know. And it did, you know how in the movies they say, blah, 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 stop, blah, 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 stop. That's what it did. The telegram says, you know, "Dear Mrs. Bruce, stop. We regret to inform you, stop." It's just, why don't they just put a period? It's just the actual word, stop. That's funny. Anyway, so that's how they did stuff back then. And I still got that letter. And I still have my grandpa's crucifix he wore. I actually have it wrapped around my daughter's urn. So, that's in the other room. But, pretty cool to hear all the stories of our families, you know, and how different things are nowadays than what they used to be. Let's see, some more fives here. Where am I? Where's the camera? Wait a minute. Okay, so, you know what my favorite movie is? One of my favorite movies is with Bette Midler, called For the Boys. And it's such a good movie because it goes through her husband in the war, and then her son is in another war. I think her husband was in World War II and her son was in Vietnam, I think. And it's such a good movie. One of my favorites, called For the Boys. So, if you haven't seen that yet, it's definitely worth watching. Goes over her whole life. It starts out when she's really, really elderly and then spans back through her life. But, well, I'm going to wrap this up. I had a good time talking with you. Thank you for being part of my family. And we will chat again soon. Have yourselves a great day. Love you all. Bye-bye.